Hey everyone, welcome back to the Student Vlog.
In recognition of Trans Day of Visibility, we asked one of our fellow Wolverines to chat with us about gender identity, pronouns, and the history of Trans Day of Visibility.
Can you please introduce yourself, tell us what year you are, and what your area of study is at Michigan?
Yeah, howdy. My name's Theo Poling. I'm a junior level student at the University of Michigan, and I'm studying creative writing and literature with an honors thesis, arts and ideas in the humanities, and with an English minor.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Theo. Just to get started, could you briefly just tell us your gender identity?
Yeah, for sure. I've gone through a whole big journey of kind of having to explore that, and a lot of people feel bad when they change their gender identity, but I always see it as just another moment where you really learned who you are with a lot more love and confidence. So right now, I pretty much just identify as non-binary, as a big old nice umbrella word for whatever I'm going through next.
Why do you feel it's important to respect someone's personal gender pronouns?
That's a really great question. I think the first thing to start that off with is just thinking about pronouns in general. They're a shorthand way of referring to people in conversation, and almost every language uses them in some form. And so pronouns are always linked to gender in some way. The two main ways we think of it are a male and female pronoun, he and she, but there are infinitely many pronouns, and just as there are infinitely many genders. And it's just as simple as referring to someone by their name or in other ways that make them comfortable. A pronoun is just very much the same thing. And so no matter what your gender identity is, even if you're secure with the one you were assigned at birth, a pronoun is just a form of kind of basic respect. So being able to refer to someone using the pronouns that they have shared with you or that you know they use is just a way of sharing with them, I understand and respect you in a very basic way as a human being. Everybody can get it wrong sometimes. We are grown up and enculturated to sort of read things from people or assume things, and that's never a problem. As long as we just keep trying next time, and as long as we're moving forward with people with that, idea of respect. So to me, pronouns are all about respect.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. Do you think that it's appropriate to kind of ask someone about their own personal gender pronouns?
Always. I mean, one of my favorite things about being in a college environment is how many teachers and club meetings open up the space saying, what is your name, your year, your pronouns, kind of normalizing it that, as I said before, we're trained to sort of assume these things about each other, even though that's often not true. And those things aren't, someone's personality and the way they look and the way they dress are not linked to their gender identity. So that assumption can be harmful, and we're often wrong. And so just like you can't look at someone and know their name, like you can't look at someone and be like, that guy's a Josh, I'm gonna call him Josh from now on. Can't really do that. So same thing with pronouns. You just gotta ask every time and learn it, and make sure, just as if what you're memorizing someone's name, you can ask your pronoun.
Could you touch a little bit on the history of Trans Day of Visibility?
Yes, this is such a fun subject to me. So, a fun fact, one of the first holidays around transgender people was the Transgender Day of Remembrance, which is in November, which is in honor of remembering transgender people who have been taken from us, usually through hate crimes. And so the trans community realized that was kind of the only way people were getting into the community of this like environment of trauma and grief, and that trans people are a lot more than that. And having people who aren't in the community only, knowing things about trans people through that kind of perception of trauma can be really damaging. So the Trans Day of Visibility was designed to sort of be this new holiday, letting people share awareness of the trans community and celebrate it with the greater queer community and the greater community at large in a way that was focused more on celebration and empowerment and positivity rather than just grief and loss. And ever since the first celebration, which is in San Francisco, it's become an internationally recognized holiday. In 2015, it was even celebrated in several European countries. And I believe last year it expanded to a list of about 30 or 40 countries. So every year it's growing. Every year it's becoming something with more concern and more celebration. And so that kind of community history behind it, I think, is part of what makes it so magical and such a good day to share our community with other people.
What are some ways that people can support and celebrate the trans community both on Trans Day of Visibility and beyond?
I think one of the hints on how I'm going to answer that question is in the name Trans Day of Visibility, which is that one of the most important things about, sharing a cause and empathy and support with other people is making it visible in the first place and just making sure people know about it. So I think one of the best ways that people can support the trans community is just to support that visibility. Trans Day of Visibility originally started just as like an online campaign. So every year there's a hashtag hashtag TDOV, hashtag Trans Day of Visibility, very powerful and popular on Instagram and Twitter. So being part of that online community, bringing it up with folks in real life, just sort of contributing to its momentum in any way you can and any way you feel able to. I think unfortunately this year, due to the pandemic, there probably aren't as many in-person celebrations going on. So anything we can do online to help share that visibility is powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And Theo, really, that's all the questions we have for you. And I just really wanted to thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
I think I just wanted to end on one note about gender in general, which is that it really is unique and personal and intimate to absolutely everybody, no matter how you identify. And so keeping that sort of message with you and growing in your own life as you form your own identity really helps kind of bring all of us together as a human family in the different ways we experience gender, that it's really something we can all share together. And that kind of link is, I think, really important always, but especially on the Trans Day of Visibility.
Thank you so much again for joining us today, Theo.
No problem. Glad to be here.
And thank all of you for watching. As always, go Blue.